Hey, it's John here from John Still Runs. I've got a dilemma, and the dilemma is tomorrow Garmin Daily Suggested Workouts has suggested my long run of 1:23, but I have a bit of a niggle in my left hip. Probably the result of some faster running this week. Firstly, on Wednesday evening, had a interval session at an athletics track in Dubbo called Barton Park, and then this morning, Saturday morning, Park Run, where I ran at a reasonable pace for me these days. So, what do I do tomorrow morning for my long run? Can I still do it? Should I do it? If I do it, how should I modify it? Good question. It may be relevant to those of you who are running with a niggle at the moment, a niggling pain in their leg. So let's have a talk about that. So I'm going to be speaking as a runner, a running coach, and a physiotherapist, because there's lots of things to consider, I think, when it comes to running your long run. It's an important session. In fact, some would argue it's the most important run session of the week or fortnight. Tomorrow, 1:23, bit of a niggle in the hip. Should I? What does the physiotherapist say? Well, as a physiotherapist, I would say that going for a long run tomorrow is probably not going to help in the rehabilitation process of that niggle and allow it to settle. It's probably more likely to turn it into an injury. So, as a physiotherapist, I think I probably should unload my legs by not running and perhaps cycling or swimming. But it just so happens I'm a runner. I have a running coach, 2 coaches, Garmin Daily Suggested Workouts, and myself. And I don't swim and I don't cycle. So there's not a lot of cross-training options for me. But I do walk, and perhaps I should walk tomorrow for my long run, or at least an exercise session, fulfilling some of my goals, which are to remain well. Health and fitness primarily, but I do have another couple of goals, and one of those is to run under 25 minutes again for Park Run. I'm getting closer. And also at the end of August to do a half marathon, hopefully under 2 hours. So there's some competitive goals, competitive within myself. The runner in me and the coach in me want to fulfill those goals. So do I listen to the physio? Okay. It's raining. I don't know if you can hear the pitter-patter of raindrops on this roof above me. But it stopped me from gardening outside, so I've come inside or underneath this patio and miniaturized a Chinese elm in that colourful pot. I find bonsai and miniaturizing trees very relaxing, something I enjoy, as well as running. How do I feel as a runner when I've got a niggle and I've got a long run planned? Well, as a runner, the long run can always be a little bit anxiety provoking when you know it's coming up the next day. Not always. Sometimes you just look forward to it, eagerly, anticipatory, and on the morning or the afternoon you just hardly wait. But often there's a little bit of apprehension. How hard is it going to be? And I guess it's going to be harder if you've got a bit of a niggle. So I guess as a runner, how do I feel about having a niggle going into a long run? A little bit more anxious. Will it injure me? Will I be worse after? Would I be better? Maybe not. But will I be worse? Maybe I won't be. So that's how I feel as a runner. What about as a running coach? Well, I'm just about to go for my Garmin Daily Suggested long run, hour and 23. I spoke to the coach, Garmin. Didn't say anything. He doesn't know I've got a bit of a niggle in my left hip. So I spoke to the other coach, me, and he said that perhaps I should just go very gently, and if I'm getting increased pain, to stop and come back home. Okay, let's have a chat to the physiotherapist while I'm out there. Well, I'm doing as the running coach suggested. Me as the running coach, keeping my pace down, keeping aware of the niggle. Is it increasing? No, it's not. It's staying about the same. Not really hurting. Sort of like that 2 out of 10 discomfort. But the words of my physiotherapist, me, keep reverberating into my mind. That being, this run won't improve or rehabilitate the injury or the niggle and make it more likely to become an injury. So the runner in me wants to continue. The running coach says continue carefully. The physio says, are you really sure you want to continue? 25 minutes. Let's report in soon. Here I am at 52 minutes. The niggle is certainly no worse. It might even be a little bit better. Probably a 1 out of 10. I'll keep going. I know the physiotherapist yesterday said that it's probably not going to help rehabilitate the injury. I really need to unload it, and perhaps a walk instead of a run would have been more beneficial in that unloading process. However, the runner in me says, I want to run. The running coach says, okay, be careful if the pain gets worse. Stop. So here we are. It's not getting worse. Let's see how we go. Not only today, but also over the next few days. Done and dusted. So let's walk it in. Pretty tired actually, but I really enjoyed it as a runner. Did the niggle get worse? Maybe slightly towards the end. Interestingly, I adjusted my form. I was slumping a bit, and that was causing a bit of overstriding. Once I corrected that, actually the niggle went back to a 1 out of 10. Interesting. Thank you, running coach. Of course, the physiotherapist who said I should walk, well, maybe he's right. We'll see. On another note, one of the physio's concerns was I did park run yesterday, and one of my goals is to run it under 25 minutes again. I said 25:50 or something like that, can't remember. Did it out at Narromine Park Run instead of Dubbo. Dubbo's was cancelled due to another event being on in the same place that we hold Dubbo Park Run, and that's fine. So went to Narromine, and shout out to Narromine Park Run. Thank you very much for welcoming Dubbo people. It was a pleasure. And a special shout out to Kate. Kate, a long time subscriber. How are you? You asked me a question, did I enjoy Garmin Daily Suggested Workouts? How did I find it? How am I finding it? Well, I didn't get a chance to tell you because I spoke about another thing called Track Set, an interval session that happens on Wednesday nights in Dubbo, held by podiatrist running coach Tim Morris. Thank you, Tim, for holding track session on Wednesday nights. So that's an interval session. So I guess Garmin Daily Suggested Workouts for me, I adapt, Kate, and I enjoy it in its adapted form. So I modify it like today. I kept my pace down to about 6:45 average as to the 6:25. I think my heart rate average was as suggested, 131. So, and also a shout out to Luke from Dubbo. Luke came up with a suggestion for my seniors running group that I plan to start in a few weeks' time in Dubbo for over 55s. You've given me a good name, and I'll reveal that later on. We'll catch you soon from John Still Runs.